We gotta keep it spicy.
Oh, it's hot.
Really?
I just stuck it in. Never ever said that before.
You can see it turns to a deep green. So Parker Grant Signature Hangouts, totally unscripted time to just socialize. This, is a whole new thing, So David and I came up with this idea a few weeks ago as a way to connect, socialize safely, and have a lot of fun, So, I don't know.
Backstory is we started Parker Grant back in January, right before the pandemic hit, and both of us are super passionate about this industry. We love food, we love events, we love event planning, and with not being able to technically do that and host a party that's larger than 10 people, we saw value in the ability to connect fans and connect people across the country and cook and enjoy some drinks and have a good time. So here we are, our first signature hangout featuring Carson Kressley. So.
That's great. Thank you for having me. I'm like, I was a Parker Grant hangout virgin, but now here I am.
Well, so much fun. Hey, production team, what happened to the music? Didn't we have that going? What's going on? Can't we still boogie? There we go. Now we're boogieing. So I hope everyone has some music to enjoy the evening. First thing, if we can get our ovens rolling at 375, we can start baking up that roasted cauliflower dip that we had sent y'all. Okay. Can we do that? Perfect.
Oh, is that the thing that's it? That's this.
Yep. There it is.
Exactly.
So you can pop that in your oven at 375.
Yep.
It's only at 245. I have a very slow lazy oven, but I'm gonna put it in anyway.
So am I. I'm gonna follow suit. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Preheating be damned, I'm putting it in.
I know, it'll be fine. We just want to heat it up. It's all cooked anyways.
I just stuck it in. I've never ever said that before.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
This is a PG production, so we can't be too naughty, but we've got to keep it spicy, and I'm a little tipsy. Wine makes me so much more tipsy than regular alcohol.
I mean, as a celebrity, Carson, do you read your Wikipedia page?
I sometimes do, and it's not always right. And you can anybody can change your Wikipedia page. I added the part about the Nobel Peace Prize myself. And I think when you Wikipedia me, like the worst picture of me in my entire life.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You look good.
Signing in like 2003, I look like I've been up for 71 days. My hair is so thirsty and brittle. I have like a reverse mullet. It's the worst. And I keep asking my publicist, I'm like, how do we change the Wikipedia picture? Could we? I mean, any picture in the world would be better than that one, but we have not yet figured it out.
So let's just take a moment and talk about why we're here. We reached out to Carson and wanted to connect on the signature hangout, but it was really important for us to have something meaningful to connect it to. And with Carson living in Pennsylvania and out at his family's farm, it just made sense that this was based on an agriculture and farming production, and Carson reached out and, gave us a really cool opportunity to partner with the Kampton Community Center. So Carson, tell everyone what the Kampton Community Center is to you and, the great work that they do.
I will. I was just there yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? Everyday blends. But I grew up in rural Pennsylvania, on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, but in a very farming town. And all of my ancestors came here in like the late 1700s, early 1800s from Germany. They're Pennsylvania Dutch, even though it's really Pennsylvania German. And we've always been farmers. And until, my family was like my parents were the first ones that weren't farmers. So I've always had a farming connection with my grandparents. I grew up on this farm. And our Kampton Community Center was always where there would be horse shows, and we had the fair. And my mom was like Miss Milkmaid, like the dairy princess. So it is our center of our community in this part of Lehigh County. And because of COVID-19 and restrictions on gathering, of course, almost all of their events for this year have been canceled, unfortunately. And they do an annual fair, they do an antique extravaganza, they have all kinds of community events, but all centered around supporting agricultural families. So I thought we could partner with them, and you can see the information on the screen, and see all the fun things they do throughout the year, most of which are not happening this year. So they really need the fundraising any way they can get it. So that's why we partnered together, and they do great work, and you can read all about it. And thank you guys for putting their like newsletter in with the culinary box, because I was so excited to see that. My family was so excited to see that, and I know everyone appreciates it. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said before when we were speaking, no farmers, no food. And us being in the food industry, we really find it important that during this time, we're trying to connect as much as possible. The food supply itself is in kind of a whirlwind of hurt, so to speak. And with food and beverage itself in the industry really kind of being in chaos right now, whatever we can do to help and support by purchasing Michigan farms, supporting the Kampton Center is really our passion and what we're here to do. So, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so you guys have probably pulled out your cauliflower dip now. If you haven't, go ahead and pull it out. Should be a nice golden brown. There's crostinis there to dip it in. Enjoy your charcuterie. I think Grant's going to talk about the coleslaw here.
A little bit. A little bit. Carson, you said the last time you tried to make coleslaw was a disaster.
Yeah, now I have, since I've been here and I've been cooking for my family, there's been lots of time to experiment. And of course I had like a 4th of July barbecue, and I thought I should make coleslaw with like red and green cabbage. And I found a recipe online, as one does, and I just made it, but maybe it was terrible, first of all.
How do you make terrible coleslaw? It's like 3 ingredients that you just mix in a bowl. What'd you do? Burn it? Cook it?
I think I messed up the size of the coal or the slaw. I used one of those grater things, like a cheese grater, and it made the cabbage into little tiny flakes.
Right.
And it made it very like mushy. Yeah. And it was just, and I made it and I served it right away, and the flavors didn't meld, and it was just like wet, soggy cabbage. Doesn't that sound great?
It does. It sounds fantastic. So guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make our coleslaw. I think everyone would have got a great vacuum sealed bag. So we've done the hard work in cutting your kale for you. So in kale prep, kale's a wonderful green leaf. It's healthy, it tastes great, but you do have to devein it. That big, large vein in the center can always be hard. So it's very similar to collard greens, what you have to stew or steep in water for a long time to get soft. So we've gone ahead and taken that vein out, chopped it up, and then we've also thinly sliced the red cabbage for you and the cucumber. So if we all just want to get our scissors out, get a knife, take that out, throw it into a bowl, we'd be all set. And then with the addition of that, in that box of 6 souffle cups, you'll find 1 olive oil cup. So you want that olive oil cup and the salt and pepper. We're going to show you a really fun thing on how David likes to juice limes.
Like a savage.
Like a savage. He doesn't like a juicer. He likes to just use his hands and squeeze them, and that's fine.
So He's savage, he's bougie, he's ratchet.
That whole thing. That's right.
That's a song. I'm not being mean.
So with kale, it's a very fibrous material. If you just pour the liquids on it, it's just gonna run off. So what you gotta do is wash your hands.
I know, I was trying to be careful. It's COVID.
And then what you have to do is massage it actually. You have to break down those fibers so that your dressings can actually absorb into the leaf. Oh, so I can go now? Great.
Get your
Thanks.
hands in there deep.
So massage it in there, and you can see the color of the kale actually churning before your eyes. It makes a huge difference. For all those that have been trying to make themselves kale salads and been struggling with how it tastes, this is what you've been missing. You have to actually massage it in. So once you've massaged it in, you can see it churns to a deep green. Wonderful.
It does, it loves it. It's like being at Massage Envy.
Yeah, that's right. Carson, they haven't paid us. That's a free sponsorship.
Free sponsor you're giving out.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to work on that for the next one.
Yeah. So what advice would you have for young aspiring entrepreneurs out there in the world right now, and how to navigate, sustain yourself, stay positive, and drive towards your goals?
During COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Might I recommend some of this?
We're on the right track. We're doing it.
Speaking of which.
I actually have a degree in entrepreneurship. I don't even know how to balance my checkbook. So I don't know how they gave me that, but I've always been a risk taker and someone that likes to solve problems and make things better. And I think those two things make entrepreneurship. And my family's always been in retail. They have a car dealership. So I grew up in that world. And I think, from witnessing it, it is about being authentic, bringing something unique to the marketplace that, nobody else can really duplicate because you're bringing your heart and soul. I think being persistent is so important, and being in showbiz is very similar to entrepreneurship because there's no roadmap, and you don't just say like, I'm going to be a dentist and I'm going to go to dental school and then I'm going to get a practice. Like the roadmap is a little bit more uncharted. But I was at the Emmys a couple years ago, snatching trophies, and Henry Winkler was there, and I loved him as a kid. We all know Henry Winkler, the Fonz from Happy Days, yes. And he was, really, really famous and popular and on the biggest show I think that was like maybe 77, 78, 79, 80. And he hadn't won an Emmy, I think, ever. And he was at the Emmys. He was in his 60s, and he had done a new show a year or two ago, and he won. And he said, listen, it's not that I'm so talented. It's just that if you stay at the table long enough, sometimes the chips will come to you eventually. And so that's the persistence part. Like, you've got to be passionate about it. You've got to be authentic. And then you also have to be persistent, because it doesn't always work out the first time or the second time or the 14th time. But at least if you're passionate about it and you're listening to your authentic voice and your own journey that you're supposed to be on, I think eventually the universe rights itself and you get what you deserve. So that was a really roundabout answer. It must have been all this delicious rosé. But I just think work hard, be persistent, and be passionate. And entrepreneurship is so fun. That's what makes the world go round. And, without things like Amazon and all these newfangled things, the interweb, those are all run by people who took chances and did something new, like you guys are doing. So just keep doing it.
Carson, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. It means so much.
Sending lobster.
We will. So
We have both addresses now, so you got it.
yeah. So we're about to make our lobster rolls. I'm mixing up our crumble. You all have the recipe for you. If I could just put the spotlight on myself for a hot minute, just a little bit. So about to make our crumble. It's the easiest thing in the world here, folks. Great summer dessert. So we've put the flour, the oats in there. Gonna put a little bit of sugar. We're gonna put a little bit of the brown sugar. Brown sugar. Everyone loves brown sugar.
Yes, they do.
And a little bit of butter, cold butter. Cold butter cut up into cubes. Don't want to get my hands dirty, so at least not yet. I've put the berries into these lovely little containers here that we're about to throw into the oven. And then once we throw this crumble into the oven, we're going to get into the main show, which is our lobster rolls, which are going to be so decadent, so nice, and so lovely. That's going to make the entire evening. So all you have to do once you put it in is just mix it up. It's a great thing to crumble. It's just a combination of flour, oats, sugars, and you just have to rub it together with your fingers, make a little crumble, make a little mess, then throw it on top. It's that simple, you know? And we're all set.
Nice.
Yep. Carson, I have to ask you, where do you get your confidence from? Who was your inspiration? How did you aspire to be the person that you are today?
Well,
That helps. The whole time.
gosh, there's so many. I mean, certainly my family, you know, my dad was a major influence. And then also like just watching a lot of television. Like I was a kid of the 70s and I watched a lot of like sitcoms like Three's Company, and I watched all of the Love Boats. I watched Paul Lynde on Hollywood Squares, like all of the 70s like comedians. Carol Burnett was like the most incredible. So I watched a lot of that growing up too. So I think it's just a combination of like genetic and then 70s sitcoms.
Well, I have to give you kudos and credit. You have no fear in how you put yourself out there. That's such a inspirational thing. For sure. And I just appreciate it so much that you've shared yourself with the world here. It's great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. If I keep drinking this, I might share more of my...
That's the idea, Carson. That's why we put this together. Start drinking more. We'll go viral.
Parker and Grant After Dark.
We're about to get into our lobster rolls here, folks. So hold on to your butts. Most exciting part. We have brioche buns, split top, East Coast style. That is a hard thing to get east of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
David found them.
I did.
So what we're going to do here, I think we all have our buns, and we need to spread a little butter that you should have into your packets on the side here.
I always
Need a little
say
toasting.
if it ain't brioche, don't fix it. You're welcome.
So I'm gonna doctor our brioche buns here that we bought from the store. We'll be honest, we cheated a little bit. Got it?
You got your buns, Carson?
Oh, I do. I have 2 on me and 2 in this box right here. Should I unleash the buns?
Yes.
Unleash the buns. So we can put our buns down on the butter side. And we just want to get that toasted brown.
Oh, my bun is toasting nicely.
That's good to hear.
Beautiful.
Perfect. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Hot.
Hot potato.
Yeah, so we actually made, we boiled the lobster tonight. So, big deal, you know. We threw the lobster in. It's hot as hell right now. We're gonna rinse out the tamale. So if you haven't seen a tamale before, tamale is the kitchen lingo for all the junk up there in the tail.
The shit.
Yeah, the shit.
Guts.
It's like the colon of the lobster.
Yes, that's exactly right. So lobster rolls are regionally distinct, just like Philly cheesesteak rolls or Detroit coney dogs. Everybody has their own take on it. So we included mayonnaise in your package. So some groups will toss their lobster in the mayonnaise. Some groups will just put the lobster right on the roll with warm butter. So we're gonna leave that up to everybody. My personal preference is gonna be tossing the lobster into the mayonnaise. I think that's like a salad. It's decadent, it's just light, it just counters the buttery brioche bun very well. So we've got our lobsters. You just get pure lobster tail meat and pure lobster claw. I mean, David and I did not skimp out on this. We went across the town to get fresh lobster, didn't we? We did. And then David made these lovely bags here of the bib lettuce. So open up your bib lettuce.
Yes.
Perfectly sealed Boston bib lettuce. Hydroponic, great stuff, super fancy. So put the stems on the inside and the green on the outside just for that visual appeal. And God, we're so fancy.
We are.
Man, this is nice.
Bougie.
Bougie. Bougie and fancy.
And ratchet.
Thank you.
Can't forget that.
And then if you want to take your lobster meat here, you want to toss it in the mayo, you can get super fancy. You can just put the lobster meat straight on into the bun. I like putting the lobster meat with the mayo, tossing it. Just, we're having fun here. We're having rosé, we're decadent, we're tossing.
A little tipsy. It's Saturday night.
We can have a lot of fun here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to mix the mayo that we all got. And just dress our lobster rolls and feel like a rock star. Just perfectly dressed lobster rolls. In Michigan, this is certainly a delicacy. You don't get so fancy. Up in Wisconsin, you don't get lobster rolls a lot. If you're in Boston, it's like a coney dog or a pizza. It's not a big deal, but for us, Carson, thanks so much for having this idea of the lobster roll. It's so awesome.
Gosh, you're so welcome. I love them.
It's so nice to change up our everyday eating habits to experience regional delicacies. Put it in.
Do we put any salt and pepper on the mayo tossed lobster?
Absolutely. You can do whatever your heart desires. So like we were talking about, lobster rolls are very regional. People just have their faves. You make it to your taste. Hope everyone has enjoyed their lobster rolls. And all we have to do is add the carton of whipping cream that we all sent y'all. Just throw it in with the sugar, with the vanilla. And boys, cue the music. So I think we're doing it. David has whipped up the whipped cream. I'm feeling so thankful to have everybody on this call right now sharing the same dinner. That's a really cool thing. As challenging as this year has been, it's really great to bring people together, have these moments, and all share a dinner like we're at the same table.
But I just wanted to say I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties, but I had so much fun with you guys, and we need to do it again.
We will. Thank you so much, Carson.
Thank you so much, Carson.
You're so welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Carson.
Bye. Thanks so much.
We'll see ya.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Our first ever Parker Grant Signature Hangout. How much fun was that?
It was so much fun. Carson Kressley is an awesome guy, talented actor, TV star, daytime host. It couldn't get any better than that.
No, it can't. No,
We had a great time. Hopefully you join us on our next Signature Hangout. Stay tuned for what's to come.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night.
We'll see you soon.